Hey guys, NCS Fan 001 here, welcoming you to another one of those trophy list analysis videos everyone seems to enjoy. Today's game is Homefront: The Revolution. I would have done Uncharted 4's first because they've both been out for a few days, but Uncharted 4's secret trophies have not yet been released. So we're doing Homefront first. Okay, so Homefront: The Revolution, it's the sequel to 2011's Homefront. I've talked about it a lot in some of my videos. The game comes with 51 trophies worth 1,230 points, so that's sort of an average. 1 platinum, 2 golds, 10 silvers, 38 bronzes. So a pretty standard point and trophy type allocation to what we're used to. But let's look at the actual trophy list itself. Okay, the platinum trophy is just called Homefront: The Revolution. How creative. Okay, but now we're going to start off with a bunch of bronze trophies. Cooking Up a Storm, manufacture a GTK item. So my assumption is GTK is the new acronym for whatever Korea we're fighting in this. I don't even know what the story is now because they completely changed it at like the last second. Micro Machine, destroy an armored car with an RC car bomb. That's going to be cool, and we have seen that in the trailers. That's going to be awesome. King David, destroy a Goliath. That one's probably going to be forced by the story anyway. Gogi Gui, I don't know how that's pronounced. Kill 5 or more KPA with a single Molotov. I'm sure there's going to be some way to do that, but that one could be a bit tricky. Now, one thing I do want to bring up about this whole list is, given this is going to be an open world game, it is possible that none of these trophies could be missable. It is also possible that a good number of them could be missable, depending on exactly what is made missable in the game. Depending on, like, if you can reset outposts and style stuff, if it's going to be Far Cry style, anything like that. We don't entirely know that stuff yet, so it's very possible all these could be unmissable, like, to where you could get them at any time, or it's very possible they could all be missable. Fighting fire with fire, kill 100 KPA using hacked drones. That one's probably going to be pretty easy. Accessorize, add an attachment to a weapon. How much you want to bet that's the first trophy everyone gets in this game? I'm willing to bet that is going to be one of the first. There are many like it, but this one is mine. Convert a weapon. I've seen that in the trailers. That's actually going to be really, really cool. Okay, we have our first silver trophy now. Adaptive Warfare. Get a kill with every weapon and modification. That is probably going to take a while because I would assume there's a pretty decent number of weapons in this game. Although I guess since you can't use the Korean weapons, I don't know how extensive that's going to be because I know there is going to be a fairly extensive customization system. Surprise! Kill 20 KPA using proximity-based GTK items. Again, I don't know what GTK stands for, but apparently, looking at other trophies, that's not the actual enemy we're fighting. It must be like something else. I don't know exactly, but that's another bronze. That's probably pretty easy. The bigger they are, this is another silver. Kill 20 heavy troopers, so heavy troopers. That ought to be interesting. Take Me Out. Perform 30 takedowns on KPA snipers. Now that actually sounds like it could be a bit tricky because you have to get near them. Gorilla Master. Deploy every type of GTK item at least once. That one's probably actually not that bad. That's another silver. Silent but Deadly. Perform 5 takedowns in a row without being spotted by the KPA. So, literally, the more I read this, the more the game sounds like it's just going to be a straight rip of a mixed Far Cry, Call of Duty, the original Homefront, as well as one of my favorite games of all time, Freedom Fighters. It's not necessarily a bad thing, just maybe they could have been a little bit more creative with, like, I mean, that sounds very blatantly Far Cry. And then Danger Zone, create a character for Resistance Mode. That's also probably one of the first ones people will get. Okay, next up we have Mayhem 101. This is a bronze. Purchase a skill. That's probably very easy. Practical Mayhem. Deploy an active skill in a mission and have at least one other player use the results. That's probably going to be very easy. That's silver. I don't know exactly what those active skills will be, though. Now we have one of the gold trophies. Professor Mayhem. Purchase 4 different active skills across any number of Resistance Mode characters. So that's what makes me think that while the active skills are not going to be difficult, it makes me think it's going to take a very long time to access them. Because if that's a gold trophy, that does not seem challenging, but maybe you can only get them if you do certain things in the game. Now, I never got to play the beta. It was Xbox One only. I know Jay played it some, and a couple of my other friends played it some and weren't too impressed with it, so I don't know exactly what that's going to entail. Phase Plasma Rifle in a 40-watt range. I'll give them credit. That's actually a pretty good name. And these are all bronze. Upgrade a weapon to its maximum level. That's probably very easy. Piece of Cake. Complete a resistance mode mission on easy. Peace in our time. Complete resistance mode mission on normal. And Piece Your Pants. Complete a resistance mode mission on hard difficulty. And then hashtag winning. Earn a team citation. Completing a single mission on those difficulties probably is not going to be that difficult. But they did claim they want to try to make it like Dark Souls level difficulty. I find that a little bit hard to believe for a first-person shooter. But I guess we'll find out, especially in co-op, because I think it's 4-player co-op. So we'll see about that, but that's actually not too bad, because that's about it for Resistance mode, which is the co-op mode, and the multiplayer in general. Minutemen earn 10 mission citations, so that must be for performing certain objectives in missions. Son of Liberty earn 20 individual citations, so that must be your own personal abilities during it. E Pluribus Unum earn 20 team citations. That's probably not too bad. That's probably just if your team performs well. I don't know what the distinction between the 3 types will be, or 4 types, but that's still not probably too difficult. Everyone fights, no one quits. Revive 10 down teammates over any number of resistance mode missions. That's probably going to be very easy. And then Flash, successfully resolved 20 flashpoints. That's a silver. I have no clue what that is. I don't know what a flashpoint's going to be in this game. That might be like something to do in the missions or like places you have to take. I don't know yet, so I don't have any clue what we have to do for that one. So, now we have what appear to be our story-related trophies. The first few are going to be bronze. Welcome to the Resistance. Join the Philadelphia Resistance Movement. Red Dawn. Of course they had to make a reference to that. How could you not? It's a freaking America Invaded scenario. Enter Elm Tree Red Zone. I know that the red zones are like the most dangerous areas for the KPA and the best areas for the Resistance. Hit and run. Escape the ambush at Ned's Armory. Heist of the Century. Steal a Goliath from the shipyard. Declaration of Independence, escape the trap at Independence Hall, so it sounds like we're going to be falling for a lot of really dumb traps. We can be heroes, incite a revolution at City Hall. That sounds so similar to the 7th act of Freedom Fighters, because there's technically 8 acts in that game. That sounds identical to the end of the 7th act. Land of the Free, this is a silver, complete the single player on any difficulty. That's not going to be bad. Home of the Brave, finish the single player on Death Wish difficulty. That's a gold. If Death Wish is as bad as the hardest difficulty in the first game, then that one's going to be painful, because the hardest difficulty in Homefront 1 is pretty tough, but the good thing is Homefront 1 is only 7 missions and can be beaten in under 3 hours on a lower difficulty, so that one could be quite challenging depending on how tough they make the campaign. But given the way this game is designed, I'll be a little surprised if it's anywhere near as bad as Homefront 1. First Strike. Capture a strike point. That's bronze. That seems pretty easy. This is our town, Nork. Capture all strike points. Dear Diary. Collect 10 journals. So those first 2 strike points, I assume, are like the outposts or something in the game, or just like supplies or something. Probably something pretty simple. Journals, that means there's collectibles, but that's not a big deal because there doesn't look like there's anywhere near as many as there were in the first game. Oh, a piece of candy. Distract 30 KPA from their guard posts in Yellow Zone without being detected. So, sounds yet again like something out of freaking Far Cry. Firestarter, and that one's actually silver, so it must be kind of challenging. Firestarter, set a KPA on fire by shooting a gas vent. That seems pretty easy. Robin Hood, kill a KPA soldier with a crossbow bolt from over 50 meters away. Huh, Far Cry maybe? Striking back, capture 30 strike points. I don't know exactly how difficult any of those would be, but again, I really feel like they ripped off Far Cry a lot with this list from what I've seen even of the gameplay, but that's just my opinion. Part-timer, complete 5 jobs, and Jobsworth, complete all jobs, so those must be like basically the side missions, nothing too bad about that. Inside job, infiltrate a KPA stronghold and deactivate the valve without being detected. So it's trophies like this that I wonder if they're going to be missable or not, because there's only probably going to be a limited number of strongholds. But I guess that maybe you can reset them like you can in Far Cry. If not, then trophies like that will be missable. So definitely be on the lookout for that. Conqueror, capture all KPA strongholds. So those are like, I guess, the fortresses compared to the outposts or whatever. Riding high, drive a motorbike 60 meters above sea level. So I guess you can somehow get one up on a roof or something, because that's like 200 feet. Can't stop the signal, activate 20 ham radio, so that's probably another collectible style item. And now we have our last 2 silvers. How dare you use this phrase? It's a trap! Kill 10 KPA using resistance traps, but that's actually pretty easy, even though that's silver. That's probably not going to be bad. I've seen them used. Star of the show. Remain in the searchlight of a KPA airship for 2 minutes without dying. That won't be easy, but that probably won't be terrible because you can probably do it on the easiest difficulty. So looking over this entire trophy list, I know this is probably a longer analysis than normal. I mean, I just had a lot of comments about this one in that it really, really, really feels like they took a lot of the gameplay and the trophy designs from Far Cry, which could be a good or a bad thing, at least in terms of difficulty. That means it's probably a lot easier than the first Homefront, because the first Homefront was very difficult because of the online multiplayer, but this game does not have online multiplayer, it just has the cooperative resistance mode. So I don't really think this one's going to be anywhere near as bad. I would estimate it currently at a 5 out of 10, just because we don't know what's missable, how long the game is, or how tough the highest difficulty is, or just how tough the game is in general. We don't know any of that just yet. So, hope you guys enjoyed the video, and see you for the next one.